T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to Trap Talk Reptile Podcast, episode 414. I'm your boy MJ. What is good? If this is your first time hanging out with us, do yourself a favor, man. If you're into keeping reptiles, either breeding, admiring, whatever, man, this is the podcast to be subscribing to. You can catch Trap Talk Reptile Podcast live on YouTube Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. I do not miss. You can also listen this podcast on all the major audio platforms such as Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe no matter where you listen to this podcast. Give me some feedback. Greatly appreciate it. If you're looking for exclusive content, if you want to get more out of what you see here on each podcast, if you want to get more behind the scenes, or if you just want to network yourself with some real deal keepers that have nothing but longevity in their future, then do me a favor. Go down to the very first link in the description below. Click on it. Come join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Shout out to all the trappers, man. My heart. But yes, come join the Patreon family. As soon as you join the Patreon family, you get a link to a Discord that will tap you in with over 185 trappers. You can connect it to the Instagram group chat, and it is nothing but good times. We all grow, but it's just a way to meet people, man. Good people, too, mind you. All right? And then also every Sunday, we get together with the V-Unit family. It's more of a face-to-face thing. More importantly, when it comes to growing with people, is meeting them. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just typing on the social media. You know, you got to get face-to-face with these people. But yeah, shout out to the V-Unit family. Shout out to Emilio, my co-host for tonight, as always, on the New Breed on the Block. As long as it involves ball pythons, right, Emilio? It has to involve ball pythons for now.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, but what's crazy is, like, let's think about, I'm doing great, thank you. What's crazy is once I get you into chondros, though, then we're looking at a future New Breed on the Block regarding chondros with you back on this segment. That I'm just thinking down the future. You know what I'm saying? So the future's bright.
Yeah, man. Trying to get species myself. So hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're already dabbling in hog noses. You have Angolans and
Kings, ball pythons, cresteds.
Yep, it's expanding, man. But how's your weekend? How's everything? How do you feel about tonight? What's good?
Great, man. Everything's good. Looking forward to tonight, to getting to know Rob a little bit. Let's go.
Let's go, man. So before we get into things, I want to say, first and foremost, go down to the link below. Click on USARC if you are not a USARC member. Become a member. That number is very important. Shout out to Phil Goss. Shout out to anyone who supports USARC. You guys are the real ones. And I do want to say, December 9th, again, is right around that corner. It is so amazing to have a show happening in December in between Reptile Super Shows. And that's the Reptile Breeder Show, the Holiday Reptile Breeder Show, happening December 9th in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. What's awesome is that this is a free show if you just go to the website, www.reptilebreedershow.com, and RSVP. RSVP, you get in for free. For whatever reason, if you can't do that, $10 at the door. So regardless, get in there. Going to be diversity. Just a lot of diverse vendors going to be there. So there's going to be chameleons, geckos, tree frogs, spiders, ball pythons, of course. Best believe there'll be some amazing ball pythons, being the fact that D and KG from the Bomb Project are throwing this show. So either way, I'm so super stoked for them to be doing this, and you can catch me there for sure, and a lot of other amazing relevant breeders in the game, man. Shout out to D, shout out to KG, Reptile Breeder Show. What's up with you in the show? When's your next show?
Fort Walton Beach Repticon in December 2nd.
And how far is that from you?
It's gonna be my first Panhandle experience. I've never really been to the Panhandle of Florida. We're gonna probably get 3 states of customers from 3 different states. So that's exciting. Get to meet new people.
Tight.
Really looking forward to it. Small show, so a little less competition, I guess you could say.
Right.
So,
shit, man. Well, hope you kill it at that show.
Oh.
Shout out to TOFAUTI Royals of Africa, other sponsor of tonight's episode. Shout out to TJ, doing big things. I'm a Mandarin fan. I believe it needs all the hype in the world as long as it looks like this. This is the Mandarin that I like that we're looking at. But man, please go follow TJ's page, TOFAUTI Royals of Africa. Force to be reckoned with for sure, but just overall real knowledgeable man on how to make proper business moves. My dog TJ, appreciate you so much for the love and support. Definitely when it comes to organization and you wanting to tap into some of the future type amazing stuff that this hobby is going to be getting hit with, go to Clutch, man. This is your opportunity to organize anything that you want to be top notch as far as your ball python projects go. And shout out to Clutch, the entire team. Big things popping in 2024, so best believe it. And yeah, man, super stoked to be a part of Clutch and their journey in this game. What do you know about tonight's guest, man? I mean, one thing I do love, Emilio, is like, you know, yeah, you've been in the game for a while, but you're still learning about people that are just now in the game all the time. So it's cool that you do this with me because I love learning about people too. But what do you know about the homie Robby Richard?
He's got some nice Desert Ghost combos coming. Desert Ghost Pides.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a really good start. Morph Market's 2 years old, and he's got some good sales and some nice followers. He's doing it right. Yeah, man. I think I met Robby out of Tinley. Super chill, just like you know, quiet dude, but just fucking awesome. You know, I started looking at his stuff, and I couldn't believe that blackhead combo. That I'm pretty sure is it Clown DG blackhead? Pretty sure. Either way, we'll talk about it tonight. But that's something that I dream about, and it's like this fool's already having it paired up in a tub. It's nuts. So I'm excited to hear what's really going on with the homie Robby, which we'll get to him right now. But the live chat's cracking. Why don't we get to the early birds? You down to get to the early birds and see who's here tonight? Go. Hell yeah, man. Listen, if you're the live chats tonight, if you think tonight's episode's worth of any super chat, drop that super chat for the episode. And also, if you have an important topic or question to any of this that we talk about tonight, don't be shy with the super chat, man. That's priority, and that will get on the big screen. Shout out to my homie Herbert. It's my dog right here. HP Reptiles. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. RCR Mafia. What a guy. This fool right here. I think it's been over a year since he's been on Newberry on the block. But I'll never forget how stoked I was to see this fool vending at Tinley, I think 2 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. But killing it ever since. Keep doing your thing, Herbert. That's my dog. HP Reptiles. Go give him a follow. And then also coming off a heavy episode with the homie Tony B from Next Level Morphs. Thank you so much, Tony, for such a great episode. Go catch that episode if you missed it for whatever reason. Not to be missed. And definitely another force to be reckoned with right here. Tony B from Next Level Morph. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Big Mike from North Star Exotics. B Unit family all day. My dog Lenny. Len Dog. Demonic Reptiles. This fool's sick as fuck. I need another episode with Lenny. Yeah, you heard that, Lenny. You're coming back, buddy. I need a demonic episode with the homie. But yeah, appreciate all the love and support. Lenny's an OG in my heart, and appreciate you being a real one for the trap, bro. Thanks for being here. Big Mike, 1776 Exotics, OG Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Whoa. And then we have a new YouTube member. Damn, shout out to Ann Capsoff. Did I say that right? Capsoff. Caps off, like caps off. I caps off to you. Thank you for being a YouTube member. Appreciate you so much. And thanks for hanging out. The homie Ryan Manfredi, More Valley Reptiles, V Unit, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Appreciate you so much. Go follow the homie. Look who it is, JD, the young player. Coming off his second podcast, new into the podcasting game, Colubrid Corruption. You need to go check it out on YouTube. All right. Go to that guy's YouTube right there. The homie JD, Meteor Oak Serpents. Go see what he has going on. It's the future right here. It's the homie JD, Trap Talk Patreon member, V Unit fam, all day, every day. And Wiz. Shout out to the Wiz. So many family members that we can't remember to shout out. Because I love them all, man. You know what I'm saying? Travis Gordon in the building. TNS Reptiles. What's good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Adrian Blue in the building. My dog. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Bay Area Ballers in the building.
my couple right there. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Piyush Patel, my dog right there. What's up, Piyush? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. 217 Pythons, the homie Will. Shout to the homie Will. Good seeing him last night on the Zoom call. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Josh in the building. Scale Fins and Feathers. Trap Talk Patreon member. The homie JQ. Big J. I love this guy, man. Yeah, I also love that he stays up late to watch his show. You know damn well he needs to be in bed, so fucking wakes up early as shit. But Jay, if you're up, thank you so much for being here. And if not, you'll catch it the next day like I know you do. But that's my dog right here, our dog, B-Unit family, JQ, Ball Pythons. Also had a great episode as well. But yeah, appreciate you, bro. Ro 5.0, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for being here, player. All City Serpents, another homie in the building, the homie James. Thanks for being here, player. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. My homegirl Lily, big sis in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Ricky Bobby SRT, above all scales. My brother, Trap Talk Patreon member, V-Unit fam all day, every day. Celtic Reptiles in the building. What's good, Celtic? Thanks for being here. The homie Chucky in the building. What's up, Chucky? Good to see you. The Ambassador, Bosa, Reptiles, Aaron in the building. What's up, Aaron? Jack BP's in the building. What's up, Jack? Thanks for tapping in. Rising Sun Serpents, part of the YouTube fam. Thank you so much. Miggy Morphs in the building. Haven't seen you in a while, player. Thanks for tapping in, Miguel. Miggy Morphs. Eric's Morph Factory in the building. B-Unit family all day, every day. Julio Fulio in the building. Ready for that back surgery in about 2 days. I'm rooting for you, buddy. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Jordan in the building. Heartland Reptiles. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Constricted Reptiles, the homie Dale Richards out of Florida. Florida heavy hitter. If you want to talk about hitters I really respect out of Florida, because there's quite a bit of you, but this guy I think of like top 5 right off the bat right here. The homie Dale. Keep doing your thing, Dale. And you need to come back here. You know what episode I'm already talking about, Dale. We need to talk to the homie and coordinate that. And I think you need to be involved in that one too, Emilio. It's going to be a heavy one. I'll tell you later what I'm talking about.
I love Dale, bro.
That was a cool guy, man. Also like a chill, humble dude, but his productions aren't humble at all. He shits on it, man. He killed it. He's not playing. He's not playing. Dale's not playing. Don't play with Dale. Justin Campbell in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Blue Tongue Morphs in the building. What's up, Blue Tongue Morphs? Let's see. Chris from Royal Constrictors in the building. What is good? All right, we're going to end this in style, all right, because we got to get – oh, dude, Chicago, my boy right here, Windy City Morphs. Thanks for tapping in, man. This is my dog right here, another heavy hitter making moves, and he ain't yelling about it. He just showing it. It's my dog, Windy City Morphs. It's about that time, Emilio. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to bring the homie Robby Richard on, get to know what's really popping with him. But are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, man, listen. Do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. Because shit's getting heavy over here. Episode 414, Emilio. You feel me?
Let's go. Hell yeah.
Let's go. Argent Reptiles, homie Robby Richard coming at you right now. Let's go. Chee! You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes,
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it.
And we're live with the homie Robby Richard, Arjen, Reptiles. What's up, Robby?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Amelia, good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you, man.
Yeah, awesome to have you guys meet. And like I already, I think I said during sound check with Emilio that I already met you in person, which was cool. And that was Tinley, right?
No, it was Arlington.
It was Arlington? Fuck,
I haven't had a chance to go to Tinley yet, but
I can't keep up.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, it was that was pretty cool because it was our first time. So I grew up in Dallas, in the Dallas area,
right?
And so my parents still live in the area. I can go and hang out with them, and so I got to take my kids, and it was pretty cool.
So that was your first show, Arlington, like your very first reptile show, or have you gone before?
No, so I would go to the Arlington show when I was in high school, like early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. And so, but I don't think it was at the same place. Like, I don't remember well. All I remember is that Bob Clark was there. I'd go check out his table, and then he'd always have a bunch. Like at that time, I think he had a bunch of pieds that were like 25 grand a piece. I remember that. So I don't remember much, but I remember that.
Damn.
So,
how do you feel about the show leaving location? It's going from Arlington to Dallas.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I don't exactly know where it's going, but I know that I think there's more space. I was talking to Matt Byram about it. He's pretty excited, so it sounded like something good.
Man,
yeah, a lot more vendor space.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the layout's like. I liked Arlington. Like, I liked the area. Like, it was just something I always liked going to Arlington. You know, just the hotel's so close to everything. It just like I liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's easy, just big parking lot. And yeah, that's cool.
Not a fan of barbecue in Arlington. I'm so sorry, but I there's bomber barbecue outside. Because trust me, I lived in Texas. No, you can't tell me, bro. Nobody. A lot of people forget that I lived in Texas. I had the best barbecue in my life. It was in Longview, Texas. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking sticks. But anyways, so Flex in Texas, man. How long you born and raised or what? Texas is always.
So, yeah. No, I was. I've lived all over. I was born in India, actually. I'm half Indian, but I grew up in Dallas, and then the last 9 years I've been living in South Carolina.
Damn. Okay, so I mean, obviously, there's the spark of why you're doing what you're doing, right? No, I mean, and is there an initial memory of what that was, as far as why you even became a logoed reptile breeder and all the shit that's happening right now?
So, like, I was really into it in high school,
cool.
and tried breeding and everything back then. I mean, it took me forever to convince my parents to let me have, like most of us, right? Snakes in the house and all that. I was always trying to catch stuff and bring it in. And, but so I actually, right after high school, moved out East Texas, and I had had a little bit more room and stuff, and I was gonna get to do more, just explore it a bit more, but ended up moving down to Costa Rica, and so lived down there for 9 years, which you can't own any snakes down there, which sucks. But you had
a buddy who has a zoo, had a zoo down there. You ever
yeah. So you can have a zoo, but like as a private citizen, you can't.
Right. You need license. It has to be permitted.
But like herping is a whole nother level. We lived, like, my wife and I lived way out in the sticks, and so it was, I mean, caught.
Yeah, it's like, why would you want to even keep anything when look where you live? All you have to do is go outside. That's heaven right there.
Yeah, you'd see. I mean, we'd have all kinds of snakes, boas, rattlesnakes. I think they're coach whips or cribos, something in that family. I'd run across them all the time. And then you have a bunch of venomous. So like I saw Fertilance and Bushmasters are down there. I never saw one in the wild, but there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of cool stuff.
Are you familiar with the Bushmaster, Emilio? Do you know what venomous snake that is?
Yeah,
it's King Cobra is really hard to top, but if I could really find any snake to almost top that King Cobra, I would say Bushmaster would be, because it's like the Bolins of venomous. I feel like it's. Oh man, that's my favorite. Probably my favorite.
It's the largest pit viper, right? Is that right?
Largest pit viper.
And massive.
It's super high altitudes, and it's in the cold, like in colder type weather, like not too cold, but it's like it prefers colder temps. Like either way, that's fucking sick. So we can all agree though, like when it comes to herping, or coming from a herping background, or to just overall being a normal reptile keeper, or someone who loves keeping reptiles, when you get into ball pythons, the way we all are, to where we're breeding with a logo, it changes everything. Like everything's different now, right? Because let's be honest, look at the coin you're dropping, bro. And I don't need to ask you if you're dropping coin, because all you have to do is go to this guy's page, RGen Reptiles, his link in the description below, and go look at the shit he has. Okay. So, you know, that, but also I like, you know, how did you have the balls to start doing that is what I want to know.
Yeah. So, after I moved back to the States, my wife and I moved back to the States in 2011 or so. And so, I'd cut my teeth on like kingsnake.com. That's where I learned all the genetics and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so I kept like my eye on it, but I saw that it never changed. And so from whatever 1998 or whatever it is when I first saw it, and so when we moved back to the States with the kids, I just take them to reptile shows. And I saw one day, I saw this kid walking around with a blue-eyed Lucy. And when I had seen the first blue-eyed Lucy, they were like 60 grand or whatever it was. So I knew something was changing in the market.
Right.
But it was just, you know, from a very, very, from a long way off. I was breeding dogs for working purposes. So like protection dogs, that kind of stuff. And then later for hunting dogs. And so I wasn't super involved, but then COVID hit, and it just, my wife's from Costa Rica. So, I mean, culturally, they don't want snakes in the house and all that kind of thing. And so it took some convincing, but my kids actually convinced her to let us get a snake. And then, so I started looking for a snake, and then I found MORPH Market, and then it was over. So I, you know, that just kind of, I was able to convince her, hey, let me just try 1 male, 2 females. And then I was like, hey, you know, since I already spent this, let me get 4 females for 1 male. And when I had started, the big thing was, I mean, pieds were super expensive, albinos were super expensive, and I found this male. It was like an albino het pied proven breeder. I was like, sold, man. I'm buying this thing.
Like, okay, like let's all admit, if we were to, like, let's just say we were to meet one of our friends and they ask what's MORPH Market, and we just tell them to go to MORPH Market, it's gonna be pretty confusing to them, right? Like you're gonna see a bunch of sick shit, but what are you really looking at, right? The advantage with you, Robby, is like you had an idea, like you saw pieds and rebels going for so expensive at one point, right? Yeah. And you saw that there was a market for that at some point, and then I'm sure you looked up those morphs then and saw how much less they got, right? Yeah. So you saw the value in that right off the bat, like you were able.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I remembered people making a living off of it back in the day, and so it was just something I wanted to try. It was something I could do with my kids too, you know, just, you know, bonding over a hobby, I think, is a good thing for the family. And
being home more, like that's the biggest thing, is like being home, like, dude, it's the best thing ever. Yeah, it's cool to get them to see them learning everything and being responsible and all of that as well. So but then I saw, you know, there's so many more genetics that were available, and when I was coming into it back in the day, you know, pastel was the big deal. And so I saw that pastel was everywhere, but I saw that Desert Ghost was like a recessive version. And so I just, for some reason, I latched onto it even before. This would be 2020, so it was right before COVID. And then, you know, everything that happened during COVID. But, you know, that first year, basically, I bred a whole bunch of like albino combos, albino pieds, that kind of stuff. And I just sold everything. When I started seeing how the market worked, I sold everything. I was like, I've got a very limited space, but I know I can make this work. I know I can breed these things. I know I can reproduce them, and I know that I can sell them. So I might as well, you know, it's the same amount of time. The difference is the initial investment that I've got to spend on it. So I decided on Desert Ghost as my base, and it was a good time to decide on it. And then basically my plan has been get dark genes into Desert Ghost. I like contrast. I like a lot of contrast. Dark genes into Desert Ghost, and then get into Clown and Pied. And so that's just kind of been my strategy. I know not everybody's fans of pieds. I still really like it. It just visually, I'm pretty visual, so that catches my eye, and so getting that DG into that, and that's been a big goal of mine.
I mean, go ahead. The variability in pied. I always say this in my chats. Pied is king. I won't move from that. that's what it is for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say Milo's that guy that will always ride for Pied because he knows like that foundation is forever not gonna leave.
Yeah.
Like it's here forever. But what was the other one? Pied, and what was the other one?
So just DG Clown and Pied. That's basically all I have now.
Right. But I was saying like Pied, yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, but Blue Eye Lucy also, right? I'm just saying like other than what foundation is built already with Pied, Blue Eye Lucy, these are the new keeper catchers. Like these are the ones bringing people in who have no idea what the fuck they even like in snakes, but they love that snake. And only because those were my two things. It was actually three. It was Banana, Pied, and then Blue Eye Lucy. And I'll never forget, like, Lily, I remember when my wife at the time, first year we were dating, she almost bought me a Blue Eye Lucy for Christmas. And it was like $400 then or something like that. And I was like, no, I was motivated to make my own. And I told her, I was like, don't buy it. I think I'm going to make my own. And I did a year later and it was great. Anyways, like those are just, you can never,
the classic.
Can't hate on stuff like that. Forever classics. You know what I mean? But you know, there's different, like, okay, so when did you realize that there was a big push with the double recessives or stacking recessives first and foremost? Because even I was late to that. And what I mean late is like shit. Like I'm just now making my double hets when I should have been doing that fucking 2 years ago. But it took me a while to realize, fuck making things for this year. I want to make things for the future. So how did you really kind of connect with that?
So actually, I was listening to your podcast with.
Wow, I should listen to myself.
Yeah, no, for real. Because I was trying to look for any kind of more information. You know how it is when we get into this, we're just so.
Dude, yeah, it's over. Yeah, you're in. Yeah, I get it.
Stop. So I was listening.
Well, mind you, I'm not tooting my horn, but especially if you find this podcast, oh, bro.
Well, there's so much good information, and so it was Levance's first episode. I think it was his first.
Yeah.
And he said this. He goes, get as many double visual females as you can. And I didn't have the money to at that time, but I was like, I'm gonna see what I can do. And so I knew that I could do this. And then it was during that time when just refinancing your house. I mean, you could get so much money out of the equity that you had of the house.
Right.
And then it was dropping interest rates and everything. So I told him, I was like, hey, look, it's not going to cost us anything extra per month. And I'm going to get this much amount of money out and I'm going to spend on this. And she was like, all right, that's fine. Well, she's amazing for letting me do that.
Right. Shout to the wife.
She obviously trusts me. I'm not going to just let us go hungry.
No, right. This is what being a good husband does for a lot of people out there. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, it has open doors. When you prove yourself trustworthy, obviously they're gonna let you do things. So I did that, and I bought immediately. So I couldn't get a whole bunch of double visuals, but I got DG het pied females. Got 2 of those. I got a double visual clown pied female, which I didn't like clown pied until I got one. I really like it now. And then I got a clown head DG female, and so those were kind of my base. Because I knew I want to work DG Pied and DG Clown and eventually DG Clown Pied. So,
yeah, I was very on the fence at first. And mind you, just because I'm trying to break this habit, but I can't help but to be like, I judge things off the price now, right? And when I saw the price drop on Clown Pieds, I was like, well, there goes that. And I was like, why are they so cheap now? I remember first seeing a Clown Pied, I was like, they're pretty taxed. And then I remember Mark Bailey brought some Orange Dream Yellow Belly Clown Pied shit to my table, and I was like, dude, this shit is sick as fuck. Yeah. Like it was because I made ODYB pied stuff, but like this thing visually had clown in it, and it was very nice, and it just made me rethink everything and say, I don't give a fuck what these things go for. I still want to make some really sick looking clown pied combo. So now I'm doing that this year. So
nice. Yeah. I think clown it does something to the color and it whacks out the pattern normally from what I've seen. Yeah. So you just throw some different codom in there and then just the patterns, as long as there's enough pattern to see, obviously that's the
it's crazy how this shit, like a platform like that resets everything, like where like you have to start all over with finding the right incomplete dominant fucking chain for that, which will change everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My favorite incomplete dominant to put into Clown Pied is Leopard.
Okay.
But I really like Axanthic Clown Pieds.
Yeah.
The lace clown pieds
Yeah.
that Justin hit were incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that the DG clown pieds are incredible. DG hypo clown pied that Justin hit.
Yeah.
Hey, hypo and pied is something that it's like butter on toast, bro. Like it's automatic. You got to have that.
Yeah, there's a guy at Arlington. I don't remember his name. I think it's like Snake Barn or something like that. But he had a couple of hypo clown pieds. Those things were the most orange, and no OD, no nothing else in it. It's just hypo clown pied. It was amazing. They were very, very nice.
What were you gonna say, Emilio?
That the one on the clutch logo is the DG hypo clown pied, correct?
Yeah,
that thing is
it's
fucking
amazing.
wild.
Yeah,
I love it.
Now, obviously, it's beautiful thing about what we do. It's if you're really tapped into your projects, nobody has an influence on what you want to do but yourself, right? So no matter if these people in this crowd aren't a fan of what you have going on, but you like it, you don't give two shits, you should be wanting to work with it anyways, right? So what are some things that are kind of the foundation forefront right now going into 2024? And what I say is, like, I'm talking like the mixture between incomplete dominant genes and recessives. Like what are the hand in hands right now for you?
Yeah, so the base codom in my collection is blackhead, and I don't know why it caught my attention when I was looking, and I happened to see a male blackhead double het DG clown. I think this was back in 2021, and it was sitting on MORPH Market. No one was buying it. It was a little bit expensive, but it wasn't like.
How much? Can you tell me, please?
It was $3,000.
Oh yeah, see that's what. Okay, but there's levels to this shit, right?
Yeah.
And I've invested in hets that are like a G and stuff like that. But when we talk about $3,000, you got to really be ready to fucking roll those dice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and so it was actually Dave Levinson had it. And so I reached out to him. But it wasn't his snake. It was Will's snake. And I didn't know that when I reached out to him. And so he said, hey, yeah. And I told him, I said, hey, look, I can give you this much amount of money down. Give me some time to pay it off. And he was open to it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then obviously I just, I moved some things around. I was able to pay it off pretty quick. But
how big was it when you bought it?
It was already 500 grams.
Oh, wow.
No one wanted to buy it. And I don't know why. So I already had a clown het DG lined up for him. I had a DG female lined up for him. And so that was, I guess, 2022 season. And I hit the odds of produce a blackhead DG clown out of him, but I also produced a whole bunch of other blackhead DGs that I tested, genetic tested. They're het clowns, and I was able to use that for some trades, upgrading my collection, kept back females, and so a lot of my DG stuff has blackhead in it. And then one of the trades that I did was with Matt Byram, and I got a blackhead Orange Dream pied het DG. So that I can get then the blackhead DG. I mean, start shooting for the blackhead DG pied, which is what I'd like to do. And then I do have a clown that's super blackhead female. She's growing up in the RHACS, and so blackhead. I got it all over my collection, and mainly I want to see what I can do in the DG clown project and the DG pied project, and then seeing how that'll react. Then maybe try to hit it with the DG clown pied stuff.
So I'm going to say an automatic, like this is going to, what I'm asking right now should be an automatic, like, duh, like, but to confirm, if you have blackhead, you want to get that in super as soon as possible, correct?
I think so. I don't know. I've heard that a super blackhead DG was made, but I don't know what that would look like. I haven't seen that. So I'm shooting for that this season.
But like, kind of like if you have asphalt, you'd be stupid not to put that in another asphalt because
Correct.
That same shit we're talking is what.
Yeah. Well, the amount of, because I still think a good example of a blackhead is very visible.
Yes.
And so once you hit a super blackhead and everything, everything that comes out is gonna be very visually, to me at least, very appealing as well. And so I think there are different qualities. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Emilio.
Go ahead. For me, I need the super overall. I love blackhead. But man, I hit my first super this year.
Okay.
And it blows most stuff away, bro. I love them. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, what was the thing? you know, okay, now being that blackhead is a huge like part of what you have going on. What was it with the marketed price drop? Like how did you feel about that, or what did you even think of it? You know,
Man, I don't. It is what it is. I'm working it, and it's all over my collection.
right?
I saw, last season. I think there was a time I remember, even the last 2 years, blackhead clowns were like $4,000, and then now I think you can probably see a male for like $500 or $600. But still, I think it's when you put it into more combos. So like when you add Orange Dream to it, I like it in pied. I like blackhead and pied because it adds pattern to it, like inchy. So they're normally more pattern than high white. So I think there's a ton of benefits to it, and it brings contrast, which is something that I'd like to see and continue to see, even as I add other codons. And so I mean, the market is what it is. I just keep on doing what I need to do.
Well, how about you like kind of give us a little bit more as far as like what is it that you are doing? And I have an idea, but for anyone out there who's just kind of kicking themselves or wondering like what to do if this happens to a certain gene that they're super excited, or more importantly, someone that just bought, like let's just say it's somebody who just bought that blackhead clown for $4K, right? Yeah. And then next you know they go to a Tinley and then they see it at the table for $800. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What is it about that doesn't even bother you?
I think if you go back to this as an investment strategy, it is such high risk that you can't really even see it as, I don't think you can expect living animals just to pay out like any other investment. But I do think but because it's such high risk, I think there's huge returns as well. So you see, and I might be wrong, Emilio, if you have a...
No, you're not wrong. But what I'm saying, what I'd say is that you have a very good layered plan, and yours, the way you're doing it, I don't think it's risky at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't feel like it's a risk. Yeah. Because in the end, these are animals. If they're well taken care of, they'll still reproduce. I don't know how you can lose money unless there's some kind of tragic situation, sickness or a fire or something like that. Or you get out.
The wrong if you stuff, get out, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. If you get out, if you give up, then obviously there's going to be a loss there. But that's any investment, any work that you put in. You get out too soon, then there's going to be loss. So
I will say this is the bright side of why maybe things like this happen, right? Because we look at clown as like the new normal now. Like clown is technically like a normal in a sense because look how cheap they go for. But when there's other things involved in clown, it becomes more relevant. It's not just a normal snake no more because now look what's in it. And blackhead, I feel like is going to keep or bring a lot more people into the clown game or keep clown relevant because you fucking can't go wrong with blackhead. And then also what I was going to say with you're so far ahead as far as what blackhead does for you. What currently is happening with blackhead clown has no effect for you whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Because as far as what your end goal is with blackhead, which is not a blackhead clown, your end goal with blackhead way surpasses what a blackhead clown does, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
And even like any blackhead clown that I produced this year was het for DG as well.
Right.
And actually any blackhead DG that I produced this year was also it turned out to be het for clown. I did genetic testing, but going forward, anything because I have this male, because I hit that male, this blackhead DG clown, then it just opens up the doors for everything going forward. So I did get it was, I don't know what the odds were, but I really hit the odds on that just to get a male like that, and then a male that just one of those snakes that ate well and grew well and started locking as soon as I threw him in there, and so that worked out really well for him.
Well, okay, I want to get into how you raise the male and as far as what you feel is good on getting a male from hatchling status to like fucking franchise star status, right? But before we do that, no disrespect, I know we're 40 minutes deep, about 80 people tapped in. Why is there only 40 likes? I can't continue like that. And Arjen or the homie Robby does not deserve that ratio whatsoever. All right. And if you're not a Darth Vader fan, because Emilio, then who cares? This is for Robby. So why don't we get the likes up, please, for the homie Robby, and we're gonna get into some shit. What happened, Emilio? Tell me.
And real quick, before we get into the next topic, I have to say, you spending that money into what you love, going into your vision, puts you 3 or 4 years ahead of everyone else that's paying $800 to $1,000 now or whatnot. You know, you're way ahead of the game, so it's well worth it.
I agree, and that changes everything when that is in the mix, when it's just something that you are investedly passionate about too. You know.
Yeah.
But that snake, okay, so clown, DG, blackhead, right?
Yep.
You made that snake.
I made it. I made it.
Can you break down the pairing for me?
Yeah, so that was the blackhead double het DG clown to a clown het DG. So
okay.
Yeah, so it was pretty long odds. It wasn't the worst odds. It wasn't double het to double het, but it was pretty long odds. And the blackhead double het, he threw some really weird stuff. I think it's red gene, and I think actually that this male might have red gene because he's a little bit he's not as dark and contrasty as I thought he would be. But it was the only DG clown in the clutch, so it just happened to hit well on that.
So that was the banger. There was no other snakes that had the double recessive in it.
Correct. I actually thought there were 3 other ones because they were super bright compared to another clown, but I think they just turned out to be red gene clowns. So
that's that noob curveball, man. I'm telling you, dude, people get hit with that all the time. I got hit with it like 2 years back to back, where I thought a snake had hypo in it because I could have sworn there was hypo in the snake. And then after a couple sheds, it just showed that there was no hypo in the snake. And I was like, oh, man. And I'm already labeling it as hypo and all bragging to the world about it. But, man, you get humbled pretty quickly. That's why a lot of people don't even show the snake after a couple sheds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you see that snake, and then how many eggs? I'm sorry, how many eggs out of that clutch?
That was a good size clutch. That was 8 eggs. So.
Okay, 8 eggs. And I'm curious, the start of you hatching ball pythons, not an issue. Did you run into problems as far as incubation or getting them to lay good eggs, anything like that?
No, not really, because like when I started, I tried to do a homemade incubator, and then halfway through, even before I got eggs, I was like, what am I doing? I'm spending a ton of money on these. I'm going to get just a professional incubator. So I just got a sea serpents. And that's what I've used. I mean, I don't have a whole bunch of clutches, so I don't need to get like a massive incubator or anything.
Right.
I did have one of the first eggs that hatched out. It was actually the double visual albino pied, and it was a paradox. But it came out, like the snake came out weak, and so it didn't make it. But that's pretty much the only snake that's ever not made it. I mean, I haven't hatched a whole lot, but that's pretty much the only issue I've ever had. So
big topic, I feel like, you know, that Emilio's been a part of a lot for sure on this show is like the choice as far as dieting for your ball python, especially at a young age, getting them to adult size, right? So what has worked best for you so far?
So as far as what I feed them, I don't do my own rodents, so I just give them whatever is available.
Has that been hard? Has that been hard, not doing your own rodents and relying on somebody?
It can be. I convinced my friend to do the rats, so he's pretty helpful. And then I've been blessed. There's a couple rodent breeders, you know, within 10 minutes of me, and so it's helped. It's helped a lot. I'm sure if they weren't around, then I would have had to do it.
Right.
But since they're around, and like my collection is not huge at all by any means, and so it hasn't been an issue. But I prefer to read. Well, I like it when they're on ASF, but they're so difficult for me to get. I keep them on rats. Besides the ones that are picky feeders, then I'll get them on ASF. But I'll do rats. As far as like hatchlings, like that male, maybe for up until 500 grams, I would feed them like every 5 days, and then I switch them to every 7 days. What I've noticed, and this is obviously very limited experience, even when you feed them multiple times, some just seem to grow well and others just don't seem to grow very fast, however much you feed them. In my experience, it seems like they have quite a bit of elasticity in their ability. Like I've gotten in snakes that are like a year old and super small, but once they start eating, they kind of catch up pretty well. And on the other hand, I've had, I have females here that within a year at feeding basically once a week, they're, probably over 1,000 grams. And then when they get to a certain size, I just start, if they look hungry, I'll throw them something. If they don't, then I won't. And, that probably works out to every 10 to 14 days. And I feel like we are much more, like as humans, as a species, we're much more worried about making sure they eat on time than they are. So
we way overthink that. We overthink that way too much, where we think they need a fucking. So. When I feel like I feel like they put a lot of effort and energy into eating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where I just like, I get it. Like, trust me, and this is why I need people to always understand there's always people out there who there's just not one way of doing things. Okay. No matter how many people you hear who feed every 5 days. I know people who've been doing this for a long time who just feed every 7 days and they don't have any issues with that. So it's kind of like, you got to kind of take everything with a grain of salt and fill shit up with how you feel is necessary. But you would have to think, damn, this hatchling, I feel like, okay, even if it's not a benefit for the growth being quicker, if this snake is eating every 5 days, this is going to be like quite the athlete. I feel like this snake's going to be pretty fucking brute. Like it's going to be a brute fucking snake and ready to fucking rock. Almost like you're breeding it or raising it for breeding. Like you're raising it.
Yeah. So I feel the same way, MJ, because I feel like the snakes that I've had that eat well seem to be really good breeders and producers as well. But I mean, that's just my very limited experience. But I feel like when they pound food, they seem to slip right into breeding as well. So, and that might be, who knows? Maybe that's just for this first season. Like that male, he might do that this season. Maybe next season he won't be that great. But right now, even for a young snake, he's still a big snake. He's well over 1,000 grams, and he's doing very, very, very well for me. So
it's confidence, bro. I've noticed that if the snake has is a real confident snake, is going to eat all the time, going to breed right out the gate. It's all about confidence and mindset, even with a freaking snake, bro.
Yeah. And the beauty about why I keep so many different species of snakes, because I can relate to, I can compare shit right now, right? And one of the things, this kind of goes under the category how you should change your fucking waters for your reptiles once a week only, right? One thing that fell under this category was keep your males lean and mean, right? And I was like, well, I know obviously in the beginning, like a lot of other people, maybe had snakes they thought were females, but were actually males, right? So I remember once I had someone come over and be like, yo, this is that is that. I had some males that were pretty fucking big because guess what? I was feeding them thinking they were females and they're already kind of big when I got them. And the guy or whoever told me at the time, this is what it was. So I was worried because I'm like, now I have these big ass males and are they going to be bad breeders? Because I heard that you're supposed to keep them small. And then also too, you see people post shit and you'll see some tiny ass males in there doing some work. So I'm thinking, man, this is my whole breeding plan's fucked because I have big males. But no, man, these males were beasts of breeders. Yeah. They did not stop. And then also going to this year behind me, I had an emerald tree boa that I've had since 2019, 18, came as a pair. I don't really sex my emeralds. I kind of go off what they look like. And this female got big and then just stopped. But then I let a couple years go by. Long story short, been feeding it as a female. Turns out it's a male. Okay. So I'm like, oh, great. And they always say emeralds that are big do not breed. They don't breed. That's what they say, right? I put this fucker in and he has not stopped breeding since I put him in. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know why that doesn't go away. I'm sorry, but it's nuts. So it's like, I don't know. Like I kind of let the experience do the talking for me, man. Yeah. Yeah. And if you do have a snake that is lazy, then okay. But I don't think having a big brute male is going to fuck up any kind of breeding program for you whatsoever. If anything, you're more likely going to have a male that's never going to shut off food. And that's what I want. I want my male to not shut off food at all, period. Yeah. That would be perfect in my.
Yeah, that's ideal. I think you do what works best for whatever your environment is. I mean, every single snake room is a different micro environment, right? And so you figure it out for you. And I mean, you can totally tell if you bring a new snake in, even if it's in quarantine, like they've got to adjust and it takes them some time to adjust because this is different. And so, I mean, I've messed around with my temps, never getting super low. I mean, I'm actually probably on the higher end of temps, as far as ambient, and sometimes I'll just keep ambient. Like I have to travel sometimes.
You gotta hit us with some numbers, bro. What you got going on? What's your ambient?
So like I think I set my room to 82, and but I don't know if it actually gets that warm. I think when I look at my temp gauge, it's probably 81.5 or so. And then but my heat strips are at maybe 88. So it's not a huge temperature gradient. But sometimes I travel and I'll just jack up the room to 83.5 or 84 and turn off all the heat strips because I'm afraid of fires, and I'm always paranoid about that. And then they seem to be doing fine like that. So I did a whole season where I just had everything at 84, no heat, no belly heat or anything. And they bred just fine. And I went back to using belly heat just because I wanted them to have some kind of gradient. But I think you just figure out what's best for your room, and especially when they're born into it. I very, very rarely have a hatchling that doesn't do well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do know that everyone at some point, for the most part, has to do some sort of adjusting as the seasons come. And I know I was talking to me. We're supposed to talk about this last night on Zoom, and we ended up just not talking about it all. But really, like a lot of people get into a comfortable position of like, let's just say you start in April or you start in spring and you get your room dialed in, but then now guess what? Your ambient or whatever's happening outside changes everything.
Yeah.
But you forget to adjust, and then next thing you know, you have snakes not eating, and you're like, what the fuck? Why aren't snakes eating? Because there's a lot more things happening inside that tub temperature wise than it was before. And then so all it does is take small adjustment, but a lot of people need to realize that that's important to always not forget is once everything changes outside, for the most part, you got to do some adjusting inside your room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that the fine tuning, dialing things in, I mean, that's interesting to me. So experimenting, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and getting to the point where it works the best as best as it can for you. I mean, they're live animals, so you can't control every single thing. And then letting them do what they need to do. I think that's exciting to me. That's cool to get to figure out and stuff. So that being said, only one species. So, I'm not like you, MJ, or these other guys that have a million other species in the same room. So,
well, he has a handful. But we're getting him to 1 million soon. I'm not
for
fucking
now.
For now.
For now.
And then
you sound like you're very interested in other stuff.
Yeah,
I am. I've got a good friend near here. His name's Terry Burwell, and it's called TB Snakes. He's been around for a long time.
He's been around. I know who Terry Burwell is. That guy's an OG for
he's
sure.
Got everything. Like, it's amazing, everything. And I'll go up to his place. It's so amazing. I'd love to do it. I don't have the space right now. So
yeah. So okay. I mean, I was gonna ask you, the room you're currently in. Are you in your snake room?
I'm outside my snake room, so I'm in my garage, and I just made a little room inside my garage.
So is that newly done? Did you newly do all that, or have you had that set up for a while?
No, I set that up a long time, but I'm pretty minimalist. So just put up a wall, make sure it's insulated, and then do that. So
you divided your garage, and you have your own snake room within your garage.
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
But it's. I mean, I can fit. I have one 5540 in there, and I have a half a rack of a. Whatever ARS is that 7510 or whatever, and then an incubator, and that's it. So it's
how you going to manage growth? Like, how are you going to make sure you don't outgrow that room, or are you okay with outgrowing that room? What's the plan?
I have to be extremely focused on my projects. So like I was getting in. I like one of the other triple recessive projects that I'd love to work with is Hypo DG Puzzle, and so I did get into it last year, and I just had to be ruthless and be like, you know what, that doesn't work with the projects I'm working with right now, and so I'm going to have to move them and get snakes that work best for me. So I have to be very, very, very specific on what I bring in, and then I'm looking at expanding to the outside. Like this wall that you see behind me, I did set it up as far as electric wiring wise that I can set up another rack or two in this.
How many animals do you have now, Robby?
Adults I have maybe 25. And then I have this season I held back a lot. So a lot for me. So I think I probably have about 30 hatchlings to 800 grams.
Okay, so 55 animals, correct?
Yeah, right about there.
Where do you see yourself going?
So actually, my original plan was if I could make 10 grand clutches per year, then I'll be super stoked with that as a side gig. And I mean,
you said 10 grand clutches a year would be ideal for you in a perfect world. I
think so. I mean, if it goes up to 15, I'd be happy with that too. Like, I mean, I've thought, I have a big shed out back. I could start doing this for real, but then I have to think about rodents. I have to think about, okay, how does that take up my time and all that? And I've never really planned on doing this full time. If it became full time, that'd be great. But it's just not moving it to a full time business right now is not a priority. Now, if it became a priority, then I think would have to restructure because I'm so focused. What I noticed this year is I kind of bred myself into a corner as far as my clients or customers, because there's very limited people who are ready to buy a certain level of hatchlings that I'm selling, both as far as cost and then also as far as the actual genetics. So, like, for example, I have a male pastel clown that's double het DG pied. Okay, that's a great male. I have him actually a really good, decent price. But how many people have a female DG pied, that'll be ready to go in a year, that's going to be able to continue working that project forward? So I did notice that. But on the other hand is, I'm good with that because if they don't sell, I can hold them back, and it just helps my project. So I do, like, I've never put a whole bunch of stuff up on Morph Market. I think I have like 6 or 7 snakes up there right now. But any one of those, and I probably will start moving them into the holdback rack pretty soon. And I'm good with that.
Now, I will say real quick, MJ, I will say it takes a lot of discipline to keep your collection under 100, 150 animals.
Yeah, without losing focus, without fucking concentrating.
Discipline, because you start, I like this, I like that. Damn, I want this combo. Oh, man. That's a lot. It's going to take a lot of discipline, bro.
Yeah, especially with the a triple recessive project. So, like, I'm already looking at that, and we're having to think through that as far as space and all. I just, like, when this is working now, and I'm so scared sometimes to take the next step. It's like, oh man, if I take this next step, that could mess everything up. And so that's a fear that I'm going to have to face, and I'm going to have to overcome if we're going to keep on moving this forward. So I understand that part.
So what's the holdback game going to be like going into next year? Like, if we're trying to get to that point where, 10 clutches, 10K, you still want to dabble in that clutch and get something that you want out of it, right? Correct. So really, like, immediately you like to say 6 to 7 eggs on an average on a clutch, right? 6 to 7
average
eggs.
Throughout my time has been 6.5. When you're breeding younger girls, your average could dip a little bit under 6, but then once those girls mature, you get back to that 6.2, 6.5 average.
So what I'm saying is, if you get to that point where you have a clutch and really the banger, the one, like, like the one and only banger is one you should technically hold back, but yet you had good success on maybe other clutches, like what would it take for you to let go of a snake and say, fuck it, even though this is the banger of the clutch, like, could you technically let it go? And what would you like? What would make you let go of the banger of a clutch if that was the case?
Yeah, it'd be really difficult. Like I hit a snake this year that is a stranger DG pied. It's the double visual, and it's het cryptic, and is a male.
Is it on your page?
That's on my page. Yeah.
Stranger DG pied. Oh wait, is this it? Yeah, here it is. Ooh, I knew this stood out. I was like looking at this and I was like, fuck, why is that?
Well, I think what's interesting, it doesn't look super different, but I think when they're so that's the non-visual. That's the stranger pied.
My bad. Stranger DG. I mean, you can already see the DG influence. It's just not bright.
Yeah, so if you go up
right here.
No, that's just a DG pied. Right. You keep on going up.
Right here.
Okay, there's 3 there. So if you click on that one, so the one in the back, I believe, is Pastel Stranger DG pied, and she's het clown. That's a female. She's hold back.
Shit.
Then I think she is. I'm not sure, but I think she is. And then the one on the right is the stranger DG pied male, and he's het cryptic. And then the one on the left is a stranger pied, this double het DG clown. So they came from a krypton. So I had everything tested for what they were het for.
Damn.
But so like those 3 snakes, I didn't know how much they were worth or anything. And someone did make an offer. But what I ended up doing, I was like, well, the double visual strangers are staying here. The stranger pied, what I offered the person, I said, hey, look, let me send him, because I know he's got a good collection. I said, let me send him to you. Let's put him to work over there, and we'll split clutches. That way, I still own him, but he's going to get put to work in another collection. It'll bring benefit to the project overall, and then value to the project overall. And I trust that person. So that's what he offered to buy it, and I couldn't bring myself to sell him.
Man, because I don't know, to me, I always feel like, well, fuck it. If the offer's that good, I'll make it again next year. I don't care. But a lot of this stuff, we have to really look at the odds, and it's always good to be confident going into a pairing. Like, I'm overly confident. That's why if I hold something back that's technically 66% or whatever, in my head, it's 100%. I don't give a fuck. Like, if I see the visuals in it, I don't care. Even though there's testing, that's also too, because I hate being wrong too, right? So I don't want RGI to always be like, you're wrong, asshole. Like, sorry, fucking but I don't know. I feel like it's a suspense behind all that. Is why I like it so much.
I would say, I think everything has its price, right? But I really try to hold on to what, especially what I've made that's in line with my vision, that aligns with my vision. I would feel like I'm throwing, not just selling a snake. I feel like I'm putting my own vision back a step, and so I think that's what makes it more difficult for me to move them.
Right. So
I've done both. I've sold animals that I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I'll say this: there are animals that that you can't sell.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with MJ. There's animals that I've sold where I'm like, okay, I'll just hit that next year, and next year's around the corner.
Yeah.
The money's in your hand. It's in your hand.
Yeah. No, and that's why even I've got. Right now, I have a female DG double het clown pied up for sale, and that's one of those. I'm like, I put her up just because I have other one that I'm holding back, but I was like, man, this hurts me to put her up. Now she hasn't sold, so I'm good with that, and I'll put the price at what I would want, And so if she sells for that, then at least I have a little bit of comfort that, hey, at least I got the cash for her in that. And if I don't, then I'm totally good with that as well.
So you don't partake in the deals on Morph Market?
I have on things that I want to move. Like I saw Lenny, it was in here earlier. He got 1.2 triple hets that they weren't moving. I was like, this is so weird. It was a pretty good chance you're going to be hitting doubles of either clown pied or DG clown or DG pied out of them. And I had them really, as I thought, a really good price. And so, I just kept, because of what I already have, I didn't want to keep holding them back. And so Lenny's been to my place and we just worked out a deal. But if it's something that I'm good with letting go with, then I'll give a good deal for it. But if it's something that I think holds a certain value, then I'm not going to move too much on it.
Lenny's one of the fucking sickest people you could really have on your corner, man. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
Knows a lot. He's DL, but he's been around, bro, and he knows his shit. So
he's cool.
Shout out to Lenny. Now the importance as far as having a male go to so many females, where you at with that? Do you have everything dialed in where the male is with only with 1 or 2 females, or are you spreading your male out here as much as you can?
So I think last year was the most I ever put a male to, and I put him to, and it was a big, strong male, right? He never went off food or anything like that. It was a male DG pied, and I got 4 clutches out of him from 6 females, I believe.
Nice.
So that's the most I put. This male, the blackhead DG clown, I have plans for probably 6 to 8 females, but they're at different times of the season. So I have him going to 4 females right now. 2 are almost done. 2 are just beginning, and then I'll probably give him a good break because he still hasn't gone off food, so he's eating fine and everything. I'll give him a good break, and then I'll probably have him go to the other four females later because those females are still, they can still get some size on them. I do have a ultrasound, but I'm not great at using it. I seem to be able to read the females a bit better, so I use the ultrasound to confirm or deny what I'm, what I think I'm doing.
Congratulations on doing what most people don't do well.
What's that?
Reading the females.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But that comes with just being obsessed. Like if you're really fucking tuned in, you're gonna, I don't want to say you don't need an ultrasound, but you kind of don't need an ultrasound if you're really fucking not like missing a thing. But now mind you, like if you're somebody who has a lot going on, when you have a lot pairings, it changes everything, but you're keeping things minimal. So, but also it is really cool because I've seen it in person. I mean, I've had people come help me with an ultrasound, and I already know like it's going to be cool to buy that ultrasound until it's set up in front of me. And then I have no friend around me to let me know, yes, that's what you're looking for. Just for a little reinsurance, right? Yeah. Like, and that's like, I wish my ultrasound came with the homie and was like, I'm here for you. All right, you're good. But you're going to need to do that like at least 10 times or some shit before you figure it out. Yeah. It's practice. It's kind of like learning an instrument. You know what I'm saying? But also too, I mean, quite the tool to have on the resume. I feel like if you could,
it is. It's been very helpful. I've gotten an extra clutch out of this past year because of it. I saw that you had like 20 something millimeter follicles, so I threw the mail in and got a clutch out of her. And then I'm in RCR Mafia Will's Patreon.
And I was gonna say, bro, it's a good fucking new breed on the block when this homie's in the building. All right, man. And RCR is a busy guy, but he always shows love and respect to the ones that deserve it. And he's not going to miss this show. So appreciate the homie Big Willie style in the building. That's my dog. Day one, homie. Puzzle King, bro. His puzzle game is not to be slept on ever. You can't. Yeah. The puzzle saver. He's the puzzle savior, I would say. Got to say that. Yeah. But anyways.
They'll I mean, he talked quite a bit about the usefulness of it. And so just me listening to him talk about it, bring it up in Zoom meetings on the Patreon and all that kind of stuff. It convinced me. I said, okay, I think it's worth the investment, and I think it has been. So I got to learn better, but it's part of it. So
yeah. So puzzle. Speaking of puzzle, do you have that going on right now as far as like longevity projects or no?
I had it and I moved it just to make more room for what I'm working on. But I think if I were to add another recessive. Besides hypo, it would probably be puzzle, but I think where it's at is I really like DG puzzle, and then obviously you put hypo on top of that, and it's gonna be pretty amazing. So I'm looking forward to that project as well.
What morphs are you pivoting from? Other than I know puzzle was something that you got rid of or just put on the back burner. But like, what are maybe some recessives or even some incomplete dominant genes that you're just like, I'm okay. Like, I don't think that would really fit in with what I have going on. And I'm mainly talking about popular ones, maybe other ones that a lot of people use because I know it's all about like, whatever floats your boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what doesn't float your boat, Robbie?
No, that's a harder question than what does. Because I can tell you what I like. I don't know if I can tell you what I don't like. Lesser. I like pastel, so.
But here's the thing: I love pastel too, but to be careful with it, right? Like that's the thing.
Be careful with it.
You need to understand what pastel is now on Earth for, and it's not for everything. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but I have a hard time finding it doing something bad besides in clown. Like I don't know if you. I mean. Like pastel pies look pretty cool. Pastel puzzles are good. Pastel
DGs are good.
Pastel DG. A lot of times I think pastel needs. I mean, DG needs pastel in the combo.
And to say to that, you saw a lot of these DG clown combos that were coming out, like mainly from bigger dogs, right? And they were being labeled as DG clowns, but I know there's more going on in that fucking snake because how clean and how popping they are. Then you see someone who just posts as a regular DG clown something not as popping with that snake because it's missing something. That was just something that just kind of stood out in my head after I kept seeing more DG clowns, and I'm like, why aren't some of them the same quality as others? And it's because maybe there's that one or two other things floating around in it.
Yeah. You never know.
You're gonna say, Emilio? I'm sorry. It looks like you're gonna say something.
No, well, I'm gonna defend Pastel because I've attacked it so much.
He feels bad. He beat the shit out of it over and over and over again.
I feel like, and give me your opinion, Rob, but in my view, for the pattern, I think Pastel's a must in DG puzzle. I think it takes care of the puzzle pattern.
Yeah.
I think you kind of lose the puzzle pattern with DG by itself. And I think that's a concern for me.
Yeah. I do think I mean, and like I said, I don't work with it, but from what I've seen, when you see a pastel puzzle DG, that looks way better than just a DG puzzle. But as a base DG puzzle, I mean, you're gonna have to have your female DG puzzles or whatever it is you're gonna do to start producing it. And then when you get hypo into it, I think it's gonna be very, very good. Just
for me, working with puzzle, I need to keep the puzzle pattern.
Yeah,
that's what puzzle. Like that's what makes puzzle.
Yeah.
Right?
So
and I'll tell you
my approach.
I did get. There was a time I purchased a hypo puzzle female, and at the same time I purchased a leopard hypo that was posset puzzle. And when I brought them out of the bag, I didn't know which was which. Like that's how. And I'm like I said, I'm a visual guy. I couldn't tell which was which. And then I was like, this has got to be it because this is the better looking one. And I was looking at the leopard hypo. Now that could be me as because I didn't know what I was looking at. But at the same time, it looked better than because that particular puzzle had lost a lot of what made it a puzzle as far as visually. So it is what it is. I mean, I know there's higher express. Hey, MJ, we can hear you.
Sorry, my bad was muted. What are you telling yourself mentally when you're seeing a sunset? Like when you look at a sunset, I'm just curious.
Damn, last week was sunset week, bro. You gonna bring it up again?
It's not gonna stop. Why can't I ask a friend an honest question?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, and I haven't heard that last episode yet. I was just starting it today, but
it's not over yet. We gotta talk about it, buddy.
When as a gene being its rarity and the fact that it's different, like I like different stuff, so I'm good with that. But when you see an adult sunset, I'm thinking like a dark brown pastel clown or something like that. Like it's similar in my mind visually to that.
Right.
That being said, that sunset puzzle that
Brock made,
that's I thought it was really, really nice. I think that's Sunset Ultramel that's been made. It looks real. At least the baby pics that I've seen looked really nice to me. And I don't hate on Sunset. I don't know if
a lot of sunset that is being shown are baby sunsets, and you can't hate on that because damn, they're beautiful. Like
yeah, they look nice.
They're beautiful.
But I will say, like I personally, because I'm so focused, that's not a gene that I'm looking at to invest in the future. That could change if we see some DG sunset combos with hypo mixed in there and all that. Then all bets are off once that happens. But
right, I'm with you.
I want to agree with something you said earlier. I work with sunset pied stuff.
Okay.
I would tell you is I'm very excited to work with that color palette and pattern. It's something so different than what I'm used to. But yeah, there's definitely some things you got to stay away with from. Shout out to Justin, man. Last week's DG hypo spot nose sunset.
Yeah, that was cool.
Listen, it's incredible. Okay, that's something that I would like to hit in the future.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I think you get the right combination, then you're able to, you can show what a gene can do. But like I said, I think I'm just so hyper focused and have so limited as far as space resources in that sense that you know, I can't invest in that kind of thing.
It's definitely a lot of work.
Correct.
I mean, like he's saying, like he's hyper focused on stuff that really needs to make sense to the space that he has to provide, right? And he's just not in a place to be like, well, fuck it, let me just throw Sunset in the mix because it's going to replace stuff that he rather have visually because he enjoys it.
Yeah. And let's be real. We have to be real here. Every project animal that you have easily adds 12 to 15 animals to your collection. Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Theoretically, you're correct. If all goes well.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot.
You know, and I think a lot more of this type of longevity thinking when it comes to picking up a snake needs to be really thought after and applied, you know, because a lot of people just kind of just look at what it is that they're making out of the pair, but you got to understand how many potential holdbacks you could be having to take different avenues. I mean, I think the beauty about having holdbacks, multiple holdbacks, even if they're the same gene, is you could actually take each and one of those to a different avenue if you want, and still have that shit in the mix. Now I'm curious because, you know, with double recessives getting into triples, it gets a little bit more dicier. You know what I mean? And obviously, you know, you hear about motherfuckers creating hatchling rooms, aka Will create a whole baby room for his shit because he needed it, right? So what are you going to do as far as attacking a lot of these double, or are you even trying to go triple? I don't think I've asked you about triple stuff yet. Have we talked about triple?
Yeah. So probably about half my clutches this year were for triples. So I have almost all my holdbacks are visual double heads. So I have 2 Desert Ghost double head clown pies, and then I have like 5 combo clown females that are double head, visual double heads. And so that's where I'm starting to think about, okay, all these 5 and hopefully I'll have different males for each of them, right? So I can take say the Stranger DG Pied Het Cryptic to 2 of these females, and we'll get Kryptons, but that's fine. We'll hit the triple visual with the Krypton look, right? But then you got to hold back from that, right? If you hit triples, and then this year I'm doing a breeder loan where I should be able to hit. I have good odds at hitting triple at hitting the triple this year. I hope. So if we get a male out of that, then you got to hold that back. If you get female, anything you get out of that, it's almost automatically hold back. And so basically, I'm trying to think, okay, what is the top 10%, maybe 20% of what I make this year? That's for sure going to be hold back, and then try to move the rest. But if it doesn't make sense, even if it's if everything is just what I need, then I'll have to figure out holding back. And so that's where, Emilio, what you were saying is like, you're going to have to, if you're thinking about a project, you're going to have to continue to expand. So that's going to happen.
Yeah. One thing that I feel like is important that happens, especially when you're just coming into this, like no matter the heat you're making, you feel like a lot more goes into it than just production. Take a picture of your production, post on Morph Market, and hope that it sells. Like, do you feel like there needs to be more more I don't want to call it marketing maybe, but regardless, something else you should be doing to ensure that when it comes down to you posting stuff, you're going to have better chance of selling it?
Yeah. So this year, as we all know, so much slower than the past years.
Right.
And yet at the same time, I think I still sold more than I had in the past years. But basically, I have to get up with the mindset, okay, today, what is one thing I'm going to do for the business? One thing. It could be something small. It could be a post on Instagram that's pointing them towards the Morph Market page. I started I just put a landing page online, and I have people sign up for my email newsletter or whatever that is. And it didn't cost much, and it hasn't resulted in anything, but I'm still doing it, right? And then I started a YouTube channel. I originally started in Spanish because I saw the need for that, and then switched over to English because that's where I was getting my sales from. So, I mean, it's just, you just try to figure out how to move the business forward today. How can I today, when I get up, what is one thing that that consistency? That's the only thing that that I can think of that's going to continue to help when you're not at the level that some of these guys are. They just post it and people are going to do. But see, that's what they've been doing over the past 10, 15, 20 years, right? That's what they've been doing. So.
But you have to. And I'm just saying, and I don't want any, because I know a lot of people do a lot and they try their best, but if you're not using every platform that you could possibly use to fucking kind of build whatever attention around your projects, you can't be mad if you're not selling shit. Like, don't be mad if you're doing limited effort as far as who's looking at your shit. And I know YouTube's hard, bro. YouTube's we all know that YouTube's a fucking grind, but why do you think people do it? Because it's kind of the marketing sense of doing, like, YouTube does a lot for you if you think about it. Like, if you put in the work and you're consistent, dude, it makes, trust me, it does make sense why you should do YouTube. And it's not because YouTube writing you a check. No, it's a whole nother community that you're building, and it's easy to connect YouTube and Instagram people at one point. But either way, it's just a lot easier said than done. I give you props, bro, because it's so hard to really check big boxes when you come into this. And what I mean by big boxes is like, yeah, buy the right snakes, raise them right, buy them from the right people, fucking make sure your husbandry is correct, but then also hitting the social media platforms the way you need to be hitting it. That's the hardest, because it's tedious. It's every day. It's annoying. And then once you stop doing it, once you go one day without posting, it becomes a week. And then a week becomes a fucking month. And then you're just like, well, this is stupid. And that's why it's like, fuck, it's not easy. And I'm not sitting here saying, well, fuck, why isn't everyone doing it? No, I understand. It sucks. But I tip my hat to people like the homie Robby right here who could keep, dude, bilingual channel too. That's hard, bro. That's sick as fuck.
Trying to. It's been a minute. But I think, I mean, the very fact, what I was thinking is like, okay, the snakes I'm trying to sell snakes for like multiple thousands of dollars, right? So you have to build some type of trust up. And YouTube actually helped me get probably one of the larger sales this year. It came from Puerto Rico, but it came through YouTube, right? And so that didn't come through MORPH Market. I mean, it eventually came through MORPH Market, but I mean, that was because someone saw my channel, trust was built up over time, and there was a ton of messaging going back and forth. And then I had to figure out how to take them to the vet, and then I had to get the certificates, and then I had to figure out how to ship them over there and talk with Redline Shipping and whoever I needed to talk to. I mean, it was a lot of work to make that happen, but it happened. I mean, you got to put in the work. So,
Robby, you said you were Indian, half Indian. What's your Hispanic background?
Yeah, so when I went and lived in Costa Rica,
oh, you learned
Spanish. I learned Spanish, and then my wife is from there, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For anyone wondering, because I don't know if someone wants to ask why I don't like Sunset or why I'm so hardcore about that, it's not that. It's just kind of like, fuck, man. Like, I don't like black licorice. Like, is that okay?
I agree with you there.
Did you read something in the chat or something?
No, I'm just saying, like, no, but it's not the only time people are like wondering, well, why aren't you working with Sunset? Well, it's kind of like, why don't I have a big jar of black licorice on every show right here? And why am I? Because I don't like it. Like, aren't we in a world where you could just do what you want to do and be? I'm confused. I don't know. Like,
everyone has something they don't like.
Honestly, this is why I keep mentioning Sunset, because I want people to know that it's okay not to like something, and I don't give a fuck who works with it. I mean, my sponsors that I love the most work with Sunset. Whatever. Okay, like I'm allowed to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? So, and it just, like Robby says too, I can only have so much, and I work with what I want to pull a drawer open or a tub open and just be like, yes, that looks hot. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? So day by day, I'm just saying, shows. How do you like shows as far as you getting the production and you getting the type of stuff to could possibly be at a table? Like, you know, I don't know if you ever want to get to Bob Vu status or Canova, or I mean, Canova doesn't take a lot of snakes, but Bob Vu, we could use Bob Vu as an example for sure, or the homie Steve MORPHS or the homie Josh Jackie. But you ever see yourself getting to that point as far as bringing that many snakes and stuff to a table?
No, like I've vended one local show here, and I didn't have anything that was for our local show. Like, okay. I mean, the least expensive snake that was on the table that I had for myself was like $600. No one was buying anything from me. So and I've moved everything online. if I ever had a chance to win like Arlington or Tinley or something like that, I think I would just do it because of the experience. But I also know it, you have to be kind of consistent on the show circuit, it seems like, or at least well known to the promoters to be able to get into that. So
politics play a big game, man. And I know firsthand, just because like I don't vend at the NARBCs, but I know a lot of motherfuckers who are dying to get into there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever heard the story, the homie Jordan, who's in the chats, but he like just went and said, fuck it, I'm gonna hope somebody doesn't show up. And he was able to get inside a show like that. But man, that takes a lot of balls right there to just pack your shit and say, I hope I get in.
Yeah.
But you're right though. Like you have to get your foot into the door somehow, and you have to make it to those shows. Like you can't stop. You have to make a name for yourself in that.
Yeah, and that's when I go to a show, it's mainly to connect with people. That's the main reason I'm going. And obviously, I'm keeping an eye out for anything in my projects, but it's really just to connect. And over the last couple of times I've gone to Arlington, I've gotten to meet some really cool people, make some new friendships, and there are people that I talk to every day now because of that. So that's really what it's about for me, and just introducing myself to people, and hey, getting my logo in front of people, and you never know what's going to happen after that.
Don't you feel like that's kind of a huge box to check off as far as like getting a name known for yourself in this industry, is like going to the shows and putting your face to your account and then talking outside the fucking bar or wherever you're at, but just having a face-to-face conversation or even a face-to-face deal. Because how many times, how many snakes are being sold during these little private conversations? Like a lot of that shit's popping off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, it makes everything. I mean, Emilio, me and Emilio, like, yeah, we became friends based off doing podcasts together. But hold on, we kind of had a respect for each other because we came face to face at a Tinley. Was it Tinley the first show we came face to face at?
Yeah.
And we talked briefly, but still, like, that's how I remember Emilio. And I was like, man, this guy from Florida coming to Tinley. I always respect people who are traveling, coming to these shows, because I do it. And I know it's not easy leaving your home and leaving your collection, but you have to do it. Like, it's how you start shit. It's how you build chapters in your life as far as within this hobby,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you just have to go. You gotta, and it's weird. I mean, most of us, I think, probably I'd say the majority of people who keep reptiles are probably more introverted than other people. We like being with the animals. We like working with the animals, and so it's just stepping out of your comfort zone and trying to put a face to a name and a logo, and then seeing what happens after that. So,
yeah. Got a wrap up question, and Emilio, if you want to get one ready to rock and roll for the homie after mine, that'd be great. But wrap up question for you, Robby, coming from me, is: do you kind of see yourself on a way where growth is going to make more sense versus doing less is more? Because right now we're in a place where people are thinking less is more, but does that not stop you from wanting to grow, is what I'm trying to say. Like, are you okay with continuing what needs to continue as far as you get into what you need to go, no matter where the market's at or whatever?
Yeah, I've thought about that quite a bit, actually. So, because you can go with the pet route, which seems to be doing decently right now, right? If you have to do
that's a part we need as far as what we do.
We need it as part of what we're doing. Yeah. And I've thought about that as be like, hey, if I can produce this, because the fact is, what sold the fastest for me this year was the one clutch that I did for pets, right? And it was a banana and black pastel and all kinds. They looked awesome, and so they sold just super quick. And you're good with negotiating the prices because it's gonna be this person's first snake and all that kind of stuff. So, but the amount of work that goes into selling those 8 snakes is so much work. So, I think you have the pet level snakes. You have then the whatever $600 to $1,500, $2,000 snakes at the mid level. That's still going to maybe beginning breeders, and then you have the upper tier, maybe even higher tiers. I don't know, but I focused on the higher tiers, and then with the byproduct being probably mid-level tier. And
hey, but Robby, it's funny you say that because it really depends who you're hanging out with when you think of these tiers. Because next thing you know, you're next to the Levance, and God knows his elevator is so goddamn high. Who fucking knows?
That's on the screen.
Yeah, it's really, really hard to compare what's mid to that guy.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean, though. It's kind of like, yeah, I know what you mean.
So my take is this a business? Yes. Do I think about it as a business? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm also very passionate about my projects, and that's what I want to be pushing forward. And so hopefully my projects will be something that other people like and want to be a part of, and want that in their collection as well, and they will buy what I'm selling, and that will at least cover the cost of the business, and hopefully make a little bit of money on the side as well. But I mean, if there were opportunity to grow and I had time and energy and resources and everything that's needed to actually grow, like, I'm open to that. Right now, I think just with life happening right now, I'm probably at a good solid level where I'm good either going up or just staying the same. But if I need to push forward and grow, I have no problem doing that. That's exciting to me. So
fucking A. Big E.
All right, Robby, what's that pinnacle snake you look to produce in the next 5 years?
Oh my God!
Right off the top of the dome.
Blackhead DG Clown Pied.
Ooh, Blackhead DG Clown Pied. So triple recessive with Blackhead in it.
With at least Blackhead, maybe Blackhead Orange Dream DG Clown Pied. Yeah.
Wow. What about Super Blackhead DG Clown Pied?
Yeah, I'm good with that too. But that might just be a black snake. A black and white snake. I don't know what that'll look like.
Well, I mean, I looked at some examples online, and the Super Blackhead Pieds look fucking amazing, and they don't look like they're too high whites, or but also it is just a pitch black snake,
Yeah, that's makes me a little bit nervous, but we'll see.
We'll know when you have it just in DG Clown, like without the pied, like we're gonna really know what Super Blackhead. Which I gotta ask you, how far are you from that? Like, how far are you maybe putting Super Blackhead into the DG Clown?
So I'm shooting for Super Blackhead DGs that are het clown this year. So actually, she's getting close to ovulation, I think. Oof. And then,
dude, I'm gonna be spending some money with you, bro, because I want that shit, bro. I'm a bit, because it's, shout out to Dennis McNamara, but Dennis put me on Blackhead Clown a couple years ago, and it's the best single clown gene, or the best single gene in a clown for me in my collection that I love whipping out, and I'm like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah.
So, but Super Blackhead, bro, I'm all over. I want that.
Well, I think next year, if my female, I do have a Blackhead DG that's het clown. If she is up to size next year, which she's a good eater, then I'll have a shot at it, because I'll put the male Blackhead DG clown to a Blackhead DG het clown. Yeah.
Damn, dog. Told you had some heat. Me though, this fool's not playing, dog. Shout out to Robby. Great episode, man. Hour and a half went by really quick. You got these hot seat questions, though, man. Even though you killed it, you can't just be walking out of here thinking you're that sick. You got hot seat questions right now, all right? And shout out to everyone who got the likes up, because the likes are a lot more respectable now. I appreciate it. We could definitely use a little bit more, though. That'd be sick. So if you enjoyed what Robby had to lay down for us tonight, get the likes up. But it's hot seat question, okay? And in Emilio fashion, he's going to end it with the last hot seat. But you ready for these hot seat questions or what, Robby?
Let's go.
All right, here we go, guys. Hot seat questions coming in hot. Argent Reptiles. Let's go. Frozen Thought or live?
Live.
A cut or no cut?
Cut.
On what day?
56.
Yay chondros or boo chondros?
Yay.
Red chondro neo or yellow chondro neo?
Red.
Designer or locality?
Locality.
Oh, I like this guy. Wow, what a sharp individual. Fan of imports or not a fan of imports?
Yeah, that's fine.
If you could import one reptile to your collection, no matter what it is or the room it needs or whatever, what would be that dream reptile you would import to your collection?
Probably like something like a Bushmaster or something. Yeah, something big.
Wow, bro. Ballsy. Props. Okay. What about a reptile you think that should be left alone? Like nobody should import it. Just leave it as is.
Man, I don't know enough about that. So
sea turtles, man. There's turtles out there, bro.
The sea turtle is fine. Yeah. I'm good with that.
Sorry, but
a leatherback sea turtle. Those massive ones that are
To spray or mist a ball python, or to never spray and mist a ball python?
Yeah, I spray and mist. Yeah.
Yay Sports or Boo Sports?
Yay.
Favorite sport?
I watch a lot of soccer.
Nice. Are we talking international or club? What do you like?
Yeah, Premier League and
what's the team?
I think I have to go with Manchester United.
Nice. Can't go wrong. I mean, what a lineup. I mean, you just can't go wrong. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, and then Spanish football, I'd probably go with Real Madrid.
Bitchin'. All right. How about this? Steak or fish?
Fish.
Ooh, favorite fillet of fish that you like to eat?
I had one. What was that? I think it was just a good sea bass that is not very fishy tasting.
Right. I mean, good sea bass isn't fishy. Good sea bass is
correct. Yes, that's what. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen.
Thank you. West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
East Coast rap.
Favorite East Coast rapper or group of all time?
Biggie.
Biggie. It was all a dream. All right. Little word association. First thing to come to mind. Milk.
Cereal.
Cocoa.
Husk.
Egg box.
6-quart container.
Stuck shed.
Soak.
Mites.
Frontline.
FedEx shipping.
Great.
First time ball python breeder.
Invest wisely.
Instagram trolls.
Pay no attention to them.
Okay, last one before Emilio's. Coolest reptile podcast in the world.
Oh, this one.
Hit it, Emilio. What you got for him, bro?
One has to go.
I like this.
What is it?
Pound or pied.
Wow.
Oh,
dude.
I hit you right where it hurts, man.
Yeah.
Pound pied, bro.
Wow. He just starts.
Let's get rid of clown.
Woo!
Yeah. That's
Let's
explosive. True words from a true homie. Hey, we just had shy of 90 people tapped in on tonight's show. All right. What do you have to say to everyone out there, Robby, who just wants to see you do good and just really rooting for you out there, man? What do you have to say to all your loved ones, bro?
No, I really appreciate you guys for tapping in tonight. Thanks for the support. Got a bunch of messages about being on here, and so thanks for that. And hopefully we can continue to meet up and push all our projects forward. So thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Can't wait to have you back on someday. But like I said, man, please go give my man Robby a follow on Instagram. That's the best place to stay on top of everything, right? Other than
that's
YouTube,
probably the best. Yeah.
Argent Reptiles on IG, which that link in the description below. But guys, do me a favor, give it up for my man Robby, Argent Reptiles, ladies and gentlemen. All right, man. Thank you so much for the great episode. Have a good night, Robby. Talk to you.
Thanks, man.
Peace. Good guy. Good episode.
Great episode. I had
Solid.
fun.
Love this shit.
I had fun.
Yeah. You know, this is what makes what we do fun, right? Hearing other people having fun, hearing other people making good moves and excited to be doing what they're doing, no matter what people have to think about, whatever. Like, bro, I feel like people who are worried about other things just aren't busy enough. Do you feel like that?
Yeah. Focused on the wrong things, bro.
I mean, this guy's talking about being hyper-focused to the point where he doesn't add anything that he doesn't need. Like he doesn't have that problem. And that's an easy problem to have, Emilio. When you first come into this and you got a little bit of coin in your pocket and you just bought something sick, you be buying other shit when you don't need it sometimes, you know? And and it's hard to hold back. Like trust me, I was one of them, man. I definitely went everywhere too fast.
Me and you talk about that all the time. If you don't need it, don't get it.
Yeah, if you don't need it, yeah, there's a need and there's a want, right? And a lot of the times you don't need it, you just want it. And it's and then you eventually realize, holy shit, this was not really something I needed. This wasn't like the part of the game plan, you know? But also too, I mean, this is part of learning. It's part of the growth, you know? You got to, especially at a time like this when people are not selling shit. Well, guess what? If you love what you have, you ain't tripping right now. I'll tell you that much. You're chilling. And right now is the time to chill or buy. I mean, dude, no offense, but if somebody got something super sick out there and it's fucking dirt cheap, go buy that shit. Scoop it up.
Agreed.
I
did a lot of that this year. So did you.
So did I. I need to do more of it a little bit. I'm not even joking. There's some stuff I really want to add, and I feel like, you know, the end of this year, going into next year, might be some of that time. And mind you, I always told myself I'm not buying no ball pythons, but man, it makes no sense not to buy ball pythons right now. Like, especially when it comes to the bigger shit, you know. So either way, thank you so much, Emilio, for being here tonight. As always, it's always exciting. You know, the other day someone asked, like, you know, is it something like why, like, not really why you're a co-host, but like, do I, like, why do I need you? And I like it first and foremost because you're someone who's been in this ball python game longer than I have. I respect your outlook and the growth that you have within your own community, but also, like, I feel like I'm very strong opinion, and there needs to be someone else to relate to what we're talking about. And you're not afraid to say, MJ, hold on, this is how I feel. And that's what's important. You know what I mean? Like, speaking when it needs to be spoken. And that's, you know, I appreciate for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you're a regular here on Monday nights. And the future's bright. Big E top G. Hey, just shy of 90 people tonight. Appreciate the crowd. But what do you have to say to the V Unit fam, the trappers, everyone who loved tonight's episode, and all the homies, man? What you got to say to them?
Thank you to everyone that tapped in. Thank you for the support. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Feeling blessed to have you guys in our corner.
Yes.
And let's go. We're going to go into a new year. Let's kick some butt.
Thankful for you, my man. Just so you know, very thankful for you. Thankful for the entire V Unit family, the trappers, all the support that we have. If you can, come through Thursday and say what's up, because, you know, MJ has I'm working Thursday night, baby. You know what I'm saying? So come through the chat, say what up. But guys, do me a favor. Go follow Villarino Reptiles first and foremost. Consider subscribing to his IG family, the V Unit, because I'm a part of there. Other amazing hitters are part of that. The future's bright with the V Unit family. And yeah, Emilio, have a good night. Have a good holiday. And I'm sure I'll talk to you before Thanksgiving. But guys, please give it up for my dog, Big E Top G, Villarino Reptiles, ladies and gentlemen. All right, bro. Have a good night. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you for coming through, hanging out with me, the homie Emilio, and the homie Robby. Great episode. All right. Really great to know what's really happening with Robby and his collection. And I understand that this motherfucker's not playing. He has some really cool, relevant projects happening. He's very dialed in. I want everyone to understand that I think the biggest thing to take away from tonight's episode is how hyper-focused and dialed in Robby is when it comes to his projects. Doing that just keeps your overhead less. You're not overworked, all right? There's no sense of overworking yourself when you first come into this, because that's like the first way out, because people get so overworked, it's not fun. And once this should be fun. All this should be fun. So keep having fun. Find the fun, hold on to it, and don't give up. Tomorrow, it's going down. We have my new segment, which is All in the Tree Tuesdays. That's happening not tomorrow, but the following Tuesday. And you know me, I can't let my algorithm just go out of the loop. So we're still doing a show tomorrow, best believe that. And I thought, why not keep the monitor discussion part of the Tuesday, right? Maybe not so much in the tree, but God damn it, do I love black dragons. So Black Asian water monitor talk happening tomorrow with Cheyenne, somebody I recently just started following on Instagram, but the passion and the trust building that she's been doing with this living dinosaur, the real black dragon. Oh, I cannot wait to talk with this young lady. It's going to be epic. So such a reminder, it's going down here, episode 415 tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. All right. And then, like I said, guys, Thursday, Thanksgiving, so thankful for so many things, but I hope you mofos are thankful, because guess what? Your boy MJ is dropping a Trap Talk Thursday night. That's right. Thursday nights belong to the trap, baby. Episode 416 with the homie Kyle Hoffman from Royal Ambassador Reptiles. This fool's been in the game for a while. Really interested to learn more about Kyle. I've heard some things, you know, just as far as like his longevity in the hobby, and what, you know, who he knows close people of mine. And so this is gonna be great. I cannot wait. So make sure, if you're just hanging out, if you're full of Thanksgiving food, delicious food, and you're just like, oh my God, I can't move. Well, dude, plop on the couch, put your feet up, come to Trap Talk Reptile Podcast, the coolest reptile podcast in the world, on a Thanksgiving night, and come kick it with me and the homie Kyle from Royal Ambassador Reptiles. But first and foremost, go give it up for my homie Robby from RJ Reptiles. It's a wrap for episode 414. I'll see you here tomorrow. Have a good night, and I'm out.